What is up, guys? This is KH Limited. Welcome to episode 40 of Spill the Tearal, my JRPG podcast where we deep dive into an interesting JRPG topic, whether it be news, a game I played, a JRPG mechanic, etc. And today we're going to be doing something a bit different. Instead of deep diving into a topic, I'm going to be doing some ranking of characters. So in the previous direction of my podcast, sometimes I'll do like top lists. So I thought I would expand on and have an episode where I just do a tier list of characters. And so this week I'm going to be doing a ranking of characters from Zenless Zone Zero. And if I do that too fast, I'm also going to be ranking the characters of Wuthering Waves, because those are two games that I'm playing right now and I really love. I've been playing them since the start, but I kind of got back into them, and so I thought it'd be a fun idea to rank the characters of those games on Tier Maker. So that's what we're going to be mainly doing this episode. But other than that, like I mentioned last episode, I want to try incorporating release dates again in the podcast because they don't take too long to look into. And it's kind of nice to be up to date with what games are coming out right now, not only for your guys' sake, if you're listening to the podcast for that, but also my sake, just to know what kind of JRPGs are coming out, because just kind of making this list reminded me about some games that I was kind of excited for, and I had no idea they were coming out this soon. And so yeah, we'll be going into some release dates too. But before that, remember to 5-star this podcast if you're listening on a podcast service like Apple Podcasts or what have you. That's appreciated. It really helps get my podcast to more people. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to leave a like, a comment, subscribe if you're new. That'd be appreciated too. I upload these episodes on the KH Unlimited and the Spill the Tearal channel. And other than that, if you have a Twitter or X, be sure to follow me at Spill the Tearal. I kind of tweet about whatever. I tweet about the games that I may be talking about in the episode and things like that. Before we get into the episode proper, just to talk about a bit about what I've been playing. Again, as I mentioned, I've been playing some Zenless Zone Zero and Wuthering Waves. Wuthering Waves, I think I mentioned last week too that I started playing again because I had dropped it off maybe a few months ago and I got back into it. I pretty much just caught up to the story again, without going into the spoilers. The Black Shore portion of the story, I kind of got introduced to that and finished that. I thought I'd miss out on a lot more, but that was really it. It didn't take that long. It took me like a couple of, maybe 2-3 days to catch up, which was nice. But the nice thing is the new update is coming out literally like right now. I think like they're in maintenance, and after the maintenance is done, the new kind of content update 1.4 is coming out, so it's really cool. I'm always mind blown that this game is on mobile and is so good. From the cutscenes, the boss fights, the gameplay, it's just really nice. One thing that sucks, and I've noticed this on Zenless Zone Zero too, is because they keep updating it, it is performing worse and worse, which kind of sucks. I play it on my phone, so but the thing is, my phone isn't old. It's a second use iPhone, the iPhone 15 Pro Max, which is like the best version of that phone. So it kind of sucks that like even on a phone like that, it is starting to chug. And obviously I can like lower the resolution if I want to, but I prefer at least kind of keeping it kind of crisp, because even on like high settings, the game doesn't seem as crisp as it can be, I feel like. So that's one thing. The performance isn't the best. It does lag a bit. Zenless Zone Zero especially, I've noticed a lot of lag, which sucks, but yeah, Wuthering Waves has been very fun, and I cannot wait to get into the update with the new character. I believe her name is Camellia, which everyone's really hyped for. Want to see if I can pull her, even though I have absolutely zero currency to do that. But we'll see. And with Zenless Zone Zero, I've been playing that. That is one that I'm currently playing. Wuthering Waves I caught up a few days ago, but Zenless Zone Zero I'm playing right now. And I think as of right now, I'm liking it a bit more than Wuthering Waves. Before it was the opposite. I like Wuthering Waves more, but I think the reason I'm preferring Zenless Zone Zero right now is because there's so many different types of things you can do in it. Wuthering Waves is like the combat. That's pretty much what you do. And every mode and event is doing that combat. Whether you do the story, a companion story, side quests, events, the elusive realm, whatever, which they are kind of different, but like at the end of the day, the gameplay is the combat. With Zenless Zone Zero, you kind of have different things. First of all, the main mechanic isn't only the combat. It's also that kind of like TV screen puzzle thing you do. There are some events where you only do the TV screen puzzle. There are some missions where you only do the combat. They literally, I don't know when they added this, but I just finished this. I believe I finished chapter 4 right now. And as part of that, you kind of you unlock a restaurant you have to run. And so you have a completely new mechanic where you have to literally serve food to customers, which is a completely new mechanic, which is fun. And the reason I like that, especially for a mobile game, is because depending on my mood, I do different things. When I want to do combat, I just do straight combat stuff. Sometimes I'm kind of like too tired for combat, so I start doing the event, which is just a puzzle, TV screen portion of the game. Sometimes I just want to fucking run a restaurant and I just serve food to customers. It's just really fun having different types of gameplay. And I think in terms of like the setting and atmosphere, I do prefer ZZZ over WoWA, because I've always been like this, but I prefer games that take place in modern times in an urban setting. Like if a game takes place in like a city or a town, I prefer that over like a fantasy setting, or if you're like in some village in the forest or something like that. To the point, like I mentioned this in the past, like the East games, each of the games are very different, but the specific East games I really like are the ones that take place in a town, like East 9 or East 7, as compared to like, I believe Memories of Celceta, I couldn't really get that deep into because it started in a forest and everything was very samey and kind of boring to me. So I think that's why I prefer ZZZ over World War II, because it does take place in a town, it is more modern, is more grounded, and is less fantasy based, which I think I overall prefer. But at the end of the day, both games are fantastic. And one small thing also I want to mention about Wuthering Waves is I did start using a controller for the game. I was one of the people where like a lot of people were complaining online that it took them so long to get controller support, which I agree with. And they do have controller support on mobile now, but I never needed it. I still really don't need it. The only reason I started using it now is because the analog stick for some reason has stopped being as responsive from what I remember. Like it is still responsive, but sometimes I would want to move forward, but it would kind of move back for some reason because I mistouched it. And because there's controller support now, I tried it and it's great. And they fixed my biggest problem, which is you can actually see all your attacks now on the main screen. Before you had to hold, I believe, L1 to see like your TD move. But now you don't need to. It just shows whether it's a loader or not. And since they fixed that, I just use controller now, which is nice. And I think I'm at the portion of Wuthering Waves like where I don't want to really treat it as a mobile game anymore. So whenever that comes on PS5, I think I'm just gonna be playing it on PS5 now. I want to like every time I play it, I don't want to be playing it for like just 15 minutes and doing dailies anymore. I want to sit down and play it for a few hours to knock out some of the story or do some of the companion quests, etc. So I have like a bunch of companion quests in Wuthering Waves that are not done. I want to say at least 3-4 plus of them, and so I'm literally saving that until it comes out on PS5, hopefully very soon. If not, I'll probably do it on mobile, but once it's out on PS5, I'll do it. Whereas ZZZ to me still feels pretty much like a mobile game with the puzzle games and the mini games and all the different little events and check marks and dailies you can do. I still prefer ZZZ as a mobile game. But yeah, those are kind of my thoughts right now on how it's been with the Wuthering Waves and ZZZ. I may be doing a future episode where I go deep into one of the games. I'm not sure which one. I was planning to do it this week, but then I remembered I wanted to do a tier list. I mentioned that last week, so I decided to do that instead. And before we get into the tier list, let's go into the release dates first. Now, for the release dates this week, we have 3 JRPGs, and as always, I source these from icicledisaster.com and RPGsite.net, and the games are from November 14th and 15th. So on November 14th, which is tomorrow, a game is going to release on the PS5, Xbox Series, Switch, and PC called Dragon Quest III HD 2D Remake. I've talked about this plenty of times before on the podcast. It is a game that looks beautiful to me. It is in the kind of HD 2D pixel art style, if you don't know, which is the characters are pixel art, but they're in a 3D world, but the lighting still affects them. They have shadows. It looks absolutely beautiful. And I think this is easily the best game visually in that art style. I believe the first one was Octopath Traveler, if I'm not wrong. And while I like the game, that the gameplay wise, visually I wasn't really into it because it's very sepia toned. And slowly you've seen more games kind of take that art style. I think this is easily the best one I've seen. Before moving on to the next one, I'll just read the synopsis real quick, which is: years ago, the great hero Ortega bid farewell to his wife and child as he set off on a quest to defeat the villainous archfiend Baramos. Ortega failed his quest, and Baramos still threatens the world. Now, on their 16th birthday, Ortega's only child is summoned by the king of Aliahan and entrusted with the mission of the highest import to take on Ortega's quest, vanquish Baramos, and save the world. So kind of like a classic RPG story, but nonetheless sounds pretty interesting. And it is a remake, so I'm sure a lot of people have experienced it. I haven't, but it is a game that I do want to try at some point. The next game coming out on November 15th, which is in 2 days from now, it is called Goblin Slayer: Another Adventure in Nightmare Feast, coming out on Switch and PC. On the website, there's a question mark next to PC. I'm not sure what that means. Maybe it's not confirmed, but it says Switch and PC, so I put it here. I believe the game is already out in Japan because on Steam, at least, it had mixed reviews, so I just want to mention that in case you are interested. And based on the gameplay, or these trailers at least, it looks like a tactical RPG based system, and obviously it's based on the anime Goblin Slayer. And honestly, it looked better than I thought. I thought it'd be kind of like a cheap ass, cash grab game, which honestly it might be. I'm not sure. It does have mixed reviews. But when I was looking at the gameplay footage, it looked pretty interesting if you're into tactical RPGs. And really quick, a synopsis: Goblin Slayer, first console game released. The original creator of the series, Kumo Kagyu, is in charge of the original concept and series composition, while the main character designs are being handled by Noboru Kanatsuki, and also worked on the original series. The game will feature a new story set in a four-cornered world with original characters. The game will be a tactical RPG in keeping with the style of Goblin Slayer, where players will have to consider the positioning of their units in the battlefield as well as the strengths and weaknesses of both allied and enemy units. So as I mentioned, like a tactical RPG. And the last game is called Heaven Burns Red. I've never heard of this game before. It is coming out on mobile and PC on November 15th. Now, honestly, I was not going to put this on my list because it seemed like, again, Like there's some like games I would mention sometimes which seem like very cheaply made games which like no one really knows about and like they're reviewed very badly. This came out in Japan already. It is reviewed mostly positive right now on Steam. So I'm like, okay, this seems to be good. It honestly looks kind of good. And it's a turn-based RPG. I'll read the synopsis real quick, which is: the player takes a point of view of Haruka Kayamori, a former vocalist and guitarist for now disbanded legendary band She Is Legend. The game has day-to-day system in which the player starts as newly enrolled Haruka Kayamori, meeting new characters as the story progresses. Monthly events take place within the game in the form of side stories, told from other characters' perspectives. So it sounds kind of like a Persona-like game. And so yeah, Heaven Burns Red. It's on mobile and PC, so because it's on mobile, I'm assuming it'll be free. Maybe it's something I'll try, I'm not sure. It does sound interesting. The story doesn't sound like generic or anything. So yeah, Heaven Burns Red is coming out November 15th on mobile and PC. And those are the release dates we have this week. And from here, we'll move on to the main topic, which are the tier lists. Okay, time for some tier list action. So we're going to be doing Zenless Zone Zero. So you should be able to see it on the screen right now. I've been playing Zenless Zone Zero from the start. If you've seen any of my videos, I've mentioned that. And so I know all the characters-ish. I haven't pulled everyone, obviously, so I can't really, judge everyone based on that. But as always in my tier list videos, I like to mention the criteria of how I'm judging them. For this one, it's going to be a bit more loosey-goosey than usual. It's not going to be purely on gameplay style. It's going to be purely on vibes, whether I like them, whether it just be from a character point of view, design point of view, gameplay point of view, etc. There are some characters as I play the game, I'm like, you know what, I really want to pull this character because I like how she looks and how she plays, and so then I want to pull them. So that may be a factor. So we will see. So there are a lot of characters here, actually, more than I thought. So let's get started right away. And honestly, I may not know some of the names, which I'm sorry for if I don't. Okay, first of all, let's start with the main characters. We got Wise and Belle. Ooh, that's gonna be hard. I don't know if anyone's like really a DT character, if I'm being honest. Honestly, I like them. Like, I'm surprised with how much personality they have, which I really like. A lot of RPGs these days, I feel like, do the thing where the characters don't have really any personality and you're just supposed to be like the proxy for them. That's a pun for ZZ proxy. But here they both have clear personalities. I kind of like the kind of trope of like the guy being kind of stoic and the girl being high energy, or the other way around. In this case, Wise is more stoic. But I'm gonna put them A. I like them. Like, they're both good. I don't know if I could really separate them. I play as Wise, but like, I don't know if they're really separatable. They're both like pretty decent. I'm trying to think of what's gonna happen for a character to go S. I'm not sure if that's like what's gonna push them above. I'm not sure. Okay, this is gonna be hard. I don't know. It's gonna be hard to judge now that I think about it. Okay, let's move on to Soldier 11. Soldier 11 is actually a character when I started playing her, I really wanted to pull, and I finally pulled her like a few days ago. I really love her gameplay style. She reminds me of Demon Slayer, like the Hino Kamikaga, is that what it's called? Tanjiro's kind of sword style. When she's fighting, it reminds me exactly of it. She's doing those freaking swirling slashes of fire, and so I really like her gameplay wise. So to me, she's like an A character too. I feel like a character's gonna be S for me if I really like their design, if I really like their personality and like the character, and I really like their gameplay. She's not S because her personality and character is like whatever. It's not the best. That's the only negative of her. Like, I really would like her gameplay wise. I like her design. She looks dope. But character wise, she's just kind of like flat. She's kind of like milquetoast, where she's like, I don't know, she's just very like stoic, not really that funny either. She's a nice character, but she kind of has this funny joke where like she doesn't really know your name, so she kind of calls you different versions of the first name you told her, which I can't even remember anymore. It's called like Crimson Twilight or some shit. And so I wish there was a bit more to her character, but we'll see. Maybe she'll be in the story, because so far she hasn't been in the story. I believe there was a character story you do of her, but it's kind of like a side companion quest, and currently there's an event going on where she's part of that, which I'm in the middle of doing. So we'll see. Maybe she'll get more character. Maybe we'll get backstory where we actually learn more about her and we actually learn her name and she finally learns our name. But so far, A, purely based on gameplay and design. We have her, I think her name is, I just played the chapter with her, Sokako, something like that. The blue girl. I'll be honest, I pulled her a long time ago. I'm not a huge fan of her design. I'm not sure, like alien type creatures I'm not really a fan of. I know she's like an Oni, but like it's whatever. I'm not a huge fan of the design. Gameplay wise, I'm not a huge fan of too, because like she's kind of slow. She has like this big flag thing, which is cool, where she could make like mini tornadoes. But personally, I like fast characters better. So gameplay wise, she doesn't really do too much for me. I would say her best aspect is personality. She's just like this really happy-go-lucky character. Apparently she's a child. I'm not sure what age she is, but like it seems like Yanagi is taking care of her, and so I'm not really sure what her age is, but I do like her on the team. She is very necessary for the team for the vibe to be complete, because you have some very adult characters, stoic characters, the fucking dumbass, I forgot his name, Haramaso, I think, but I think she fits in pretty perfectly. But I think that her personality is like the only thing I personally like of her, so I think that means She's B, maybe even C personally. I'll put her B for now. We'll see if we have too much B's. Maybe she'll go down to C, but I'll put her there for now. We have, oh my god, I'm forgetting her name. It's Hoshimi something, I believe. The character who's gonna be released soon. But the Sword Fighter, I love her design. It's really fucking cool. I really like the redesign they gave her. I remember the first time we met her and like she's like known in the world to be OP. But I remember when we first saw her, her face looked like, I don't know, something felt off about it. There was just something, I'm like, her eyes look weird or something. And they apparently remodeled her recently where like she looks a bit more normal. And so, which is good. I like her design. Based on the footage I've seen of her combat, she looks fucking awesome. I haven't played her as her, obviously she's not out, but footage-wise, she looks good. And her personality, she's like, you know, like the stoic character, but like she's actually like pretty funny too. Like I do like her character where she's not like, she isn't really milquetoast where she's constantly trying to get out of work. She really wants to train. And I kind of like that trope too where like there's a character who's just really into swordsmanship. Trails of Cold Steel has a few of those with Reen and Laura. So I honestly really like her. She may be A or S tier. I'm going to put her A for now. But she may be S tier. Maybe when I'm done, I'll just see which ones are my favorites from A and push them to S. But for now, I think she is A tier. And I think I like her above Soldier 11, so I'll move her up above Soldier 11. Now we have Yanagi. Yanagi, I've just been learning a lot more literally yesterday because I did the entire quest. She seems like a very cool character. The main thing I like about her design is she looks like a normal office worker, but she has like this shoulder like armor pad. You could kind of see it in the picture here where like it looks like it's taken off like a samurai, but it's like turquoise and black. It looks really fucking cool. I don't know what the story behind that is, but it's very dope. And so I do like her design. It's not like spectacular or anything, but like I like that it looks mostly normal and it has a bit of, you know, spice on it. In terms of her character's pretty good. I like that she's kind of, I thought she was like the head of Section 6, but I believe it's the Hoshimi who is, and so she's not. She's I believe the second in command, but like she pretty much does everything and kind of has to mother everyone. But yeah, so design is good, personality is pretty decent. In terms of gameplay, she's really cool. But she's not my favorite in gameplay. I don't know, I can't really judge this like objectively or anything. It's just like whenever I play as a character, I know right away whether I like them or not. She is a fast character, but she isn't like my favorite, but she is fun to play as. Like, when I play as her, I can play as her pretty well. She's like a thunder spear user kind of, and so she is very fun to play as. I think she's gonna be B tier. If she's B tier, I think I have to move, I believe her name is Sokako, to C tier, honestly. B tier because she's not A for me. Like, I don't know, in my head, there's a delineation between her and these guys, and so I'm going to be keeping Yanagi in B tier, but I do really like her a lot from what I've been playing. Now we have a Lycon. Lycon is pretty cool. I remember when I pulled him, you know, my first reaction, as many people, was like, oh shit, who's this furry? But after going through, you know, the Victoria Housekeeping chapter and all that, I do like him a lot. I love his voice actor. His voice actor is very good. I really like his character. He's like a homie. Him doing the thing with the airship in the chapter, no spoilers, is really fucking cool, like what he does. And so he's just dope. Like, every cutscene he's in is fucking cool because of his like leg thrusters, the way he fights and runs. He is pretty fun to fight with because he is more different from everyone else. Everyone else usually uses a weapon. He just literally kicks and stuff, which is dope. And so while my first impression of his design was kind of like, what the hell is this? It's kind of grown on me. There's just like a really cool fucking wolf, and so I'm gonna put him high B tier. I do really like him, but again, it doesn't really push to A tier with the other characters. Now we have Corrin. Corrin's pretty dope too. Victoria Housekeeping is interesting because literally everyone in the group, when I first saw them, I'm like, I don't know how I feel about these designs. Like they look like okay, but then they kind of grew on me as I kind of, you know, did the missions with them. I do like them a lot more, and so Corrin is one of them. Like, Corrin, when I saw her, like, is she like some Frankenstein girl? Like, what's going on? But she's just like the shy girl who, with the trope of like, she has a fucking huge ass chainsaw and she fights with that. You literally have like a character kind of like that in Sakamoto Days too, which is funny. But yeah, she's good. She's not really bad or good. I would say she's like low B tier for me. Gameplay wise, I can use her. I don't love using her. Again, she's not the fastest to use, but it is kind of fun using her. But I would put her in low B tier for now. Next we have, I believe her name is Rena, again from Victoria Housekeeping. From Victoria Housekeeping, I think she might be my favorite to use. What's weird about her is she's literally exactly the same as a character from Wuthering Waves, which is Yinlin, I believe, which is literally the exact same thing. A lightning user who controls like two dolls and fights with them. Weirdly enough, in Wuthering Waves, all the characters that are like that, where they control something to attack, I don't like at all. Like, I just don't like fighting. Like with Yinlin, with Jinshi, I just don't like it. It just doesn't feel good to me. I feel like I have to be more direct in Wuthering Waves to feel good to fight. But for some reason, Reno, like, I feel very fucking good. Like, when I'm using her, I'm like, yo, I feel powerful. Raining down the thunder on all the enemies real fucking good. Like the special attack that you use, just using her is very fun. Her design, I think, is probably one of the better ones in the group, probably the best, I believe. I mean, like honestly, maybe it's because like they didn't do anything that special with her. She looks like a normal maid. I think she has a slight witch edge. They kind of trying to make her like look like a witch, kind of, which is a thing. And like, yeah, I just think she's dope. I would say again, I don't think she breaks into A tier. I would put her high B tier. Maybe above Lycon. I'll put her above Lycon if I can do that. Okay, cool. And the last one, Victoria Housekeeping, is Whale Girl. I do not remember her name right now. But it's a girl with like the, what is she? She's not a whale. She has like a fucking fishtail or some shit. I'll call her Shark Girl for now because she has sharp teeth. But she's pretty good. I'm not sure how I feel about her VA. Her VA sounds kind of, I don't know. To me, it doesn't really fit the character. But I do like her character. She's kind of like this lazy girl, but she's strong. She kind of reminds me of Fee from the Trails games. And I think, I'm trying to remember. Other than Rena, I do like using her too, gameplay wise. I literally cannot even imagine what her weapon is right now because like I didn't really use her that much. But I do remember when I was using her, it was pretty fun to use her. And so again, she'll probably be with the rest of Victoria Housekeeping. I would say probably above Corin. I would say I like Corin's character better than her, but I like Shark Girl's fighting better than Corin. So I'll put her above Corin for that. And now we have the Bellabog homies. We have Anton. Now it's been a while since I've done this arc, so they're not the most fresh. Anton, I think, looks dope. He's cool. His weapon is like this drill, his bro, which he just fucking beats everyone with. I believe he is electric element. His design looks dope. I love that this game has a lot of like two-toned hairs, like just to keep, you know, everything a bit like fresh. Like I like that. Like Anton has that. Another person has that we'll be ranking later. But I really do like Anton's design. Gameplay wise, I really like him. He's a bit slower than I would like, but I remember when I did use him, it was cool. But like some other characters, I pulled Anton, but I don't really actually use him on my team because he's like good enough where I'm fine with using him, but I wouldn't actually put him in my top 3, which is kind of what you have to do in this game. And so yeah, character wise, I think for him is like fully character design, which is why I love him. Like when it comes to like the bonding section of the games, I usually do like hanging out with them. That is a fun thing to do because, you know, he just seems like a very eccentric character. And so he will go, I want to say high B tier. I think he's the highest in B tier. I believe. I feel like him and Rena are kind of tied, where Rena's more gameplay focused and Anton's more like character and design focused. Second from Bellabog, we have Ben, I believe is his name, is the bear. He's hard. I like his character. He's like a nice guy. I think he does the finances. He's fun. He's like this big bear who's kind of like soft natured, you know, that kind of thing. But design wise, he's a bear. Like it's not like usually the Thyrans that are like full animals, I can't really get too hyped about the design because it's literally just the animal. Except like maybe Lycon. Lycon's like more on the cooler side because like they gave him like cool shit like with the eye patch and shit. But like Ben is literally just a bear wearing like a shirt and stuff. So design wise, I don't know if I can really put it up there. And personally, I'm not usually a fan of like big slow characters, which he kind of is. I can't even remember his weapon. I think it's like a hammer or something like that. He's like a very heavy, I think it's like a hammer or an RPG, something like that, which he kind of swings around. So gameplay wise, I'm not a huge fan of 2. I have been 2. I think they give Ben for free, I believe. So design wise, not the highest. Personalities are honestly the thing that's really good for me. So I'm gonna put him B. I think he's pretty much Corin tier, honestly. So I'll put him around there, around with Corin and Shark Girl. So that's where he will be. The next girl, the boss of Bellabog, I can't remember her name. It's like Kaleda or some shit like that. I'll call her Red Hair Girl right now. She's good. She's fun. Her backstory with her dad is pretty nice. I remember fighting with her was fun when I did use her. Again, it's been a while, so I don't really remember how she is. Personality wise, she's kind of like this feisty girl. You can just tell by her design how she would act pretty much, is how she looks, kind of fiery. And I'm trying to see. I think with her, it's just nothing really sticks out. Like I think like personality, design, gameplay, I like all of them, but they're all like B is the definition of what I'm trying to explain. So yeah, she will be B tier. In terms of where she goes, I would say it's above Shark Girl, but right under Nagi, I believe. I think that's a pretty fair place to put her. Next, we have Grace. Grace is one of my favorite characters. I like her dumbass troll personality of like her just caring about machines, and that's all. So whenever like she wants to talk to me, she actually wants to talk to Eos. I think her design is dope. Like it reminds me a lot of Winry, and I love Full Metal Alchemist, and so like maybe like that's why I really like her design. Personality, I said it was fun. Gameplay, I fucking love. I'm trying to pull her. I have her on the stable channel where like you just select someone and you could get them. I'm so fucking pissed because I got the only reason I have Lycon because I had him selected before and I didn't know that you could select before, and so I have Grace selected now. And while I had her selected, I got Soldier 11 for some reason, but I still have Grace selected. Hopefully I get her because I really love using her because I can't remember exactly how she works, but she's electric. She shoots and she throws bombs and shit too. And I just remember when I was using her, like visually it looked fucking beautiful. There's like a lot of these colors and shit flying around. And so design, personality, gameplay, she is honestly one of my favorites in the game. And so she is really high up. She's kind of like Soldier 11, but like with the personality in my opinion. So she's above Soldier 11 for me. She's also above, is Miyabi her name? What should be Miyabi? I think that's her name. And honestly, trying to see. It's so hard to put Wise and Bell here because you can't fight as them. It's just purely personality based, which is why I have them at the top. But I feel like putting Grace number 1 kind of because like she has the gameplay on top of them. And so that's why I want to do it. I want to put her at number 1. So I'm going to put her number 1 for now. She is like the character I'm trying to pull. And so yeah, I'll put Grace number 1 above Wise, Bell, etc. Now we have Anby. Anby has been my ride or die since the start. She's been on my team the entire time. I really like how she fights. She is kind of starting to feel like what you feel in these games where like when you get more and more new characters and they play really cool, she starts to feel kind of old. I'm kind of starting to feel that where she feels kind of simple to use, but I still like her electric sword. It's really fun to play. I like her personality. Again, she's very much like Altina from Trails. I'm comparing so much to Trails because Trails has fucking a million characters, so you can compare anyone to them. But she's almost exactly like Altina, not only design wise, honestly, with the gray hair, but personality, which is very subdued. But she does have like a personality when you actually talk to her. Like her design looks fucking dope. Like the green and black, like armored kind of fucking. I can't even explain it. It's kind of like it's not really a schoolgirl outfit, but it has armor and as a hood. I think she has like this cool like steampunk backpack on. Her sword looks fucking dope too, and electricity is just dope as a weapon in anything. And so she is easily A tier for me. She would be above Soldier 11. I think I'd have to put her above Miyabi because Miyabi's not out, so I don't know really exactly know how she plays. And should I put her above Bell? Nah, under Bell. Because I like Bell. Like she's really, I like her personality and stuff, so I'll put Bell up. Next we have Nekomata. Nekomata was probably the first character when I got to play as. I was like, yo, this game is fucking good. Like she plays really fast. She's very fun to play as. And I remember I did want to pull her. Now I don't mind too much. If I do get her, I'll probably use her. But yeah, Nekomata was fun. And I can't remember exactly how you were introduced to her, but I remember like it was really fun because she had a personality, but you find out it was a fake personality. I think she was very like kid-like and nice when you first met her, but you realize she's not. She's like a lot more mature. I think like at some point she just like turns off the fake personality and she just starts talking normally and you find out who she really is. And obviously you have the entire backstory of you trying to save her from her previous gang, I believe, or something like that. And so I really enjoyed her story. Her design looks dope. At first I was like, cat girl, yeah, you know, like you kind of have those characters, but like her character was like fun enough, and her design, when you kind of look closely, is pretty cool, like with the red design. And she has 2 tails for some fucking reason. But also I appreciated her character because having her in the story introduces you to the concept of Thyrans in the game, which if you don't know, Thyrans are like the animal characters in this game. And I think it's pretty cool that this game just has like different gradations of Thyrans. Like Ben is a bear Thyran, you have Miyabi, which is a fox Thyran, Lycon is a wolf Thyran, but you could tell they're all different gradations of that animal. And so she's a cat Thyran, and she kind of like introduces this concept to the player, which is very cool. And so I feel like for her, she is carried by her gameplay for me, but her personality and design are pretty good too, honestly. I feel like she's like either low A or high B. I think she might be low A. I'm going to put her right under Soldier 11. Okay, we'll see. So far, no S, no D, so we will see. I don't think anyone's going to be D, if I'm being honest. Actually, I'm looking at someone, they might be D. Okay, so next is Billy. Billy, I think, has one of the coolest fucking designs. Like he just looks dope as hell. In general, the designs in this game are fucking awesome. I love like how detailed they are and how cool they look. And so Billy's cool. He has like the fucking red leather jacket, white hair. He's like this. I believe they're called intelligence constructs, which I learned recently. They might have mentioned this before, but I just noticed like recently when I was playing in a cutscene, they mentioned it because I literally just met a car in this game, which was an intelligence construct too, which was funny. But I really like him. I like him gameplay wise. He's kind of someone where like anybody could play the game if they use him. It's just you press the shoot button, he fucking shoots everyone. It's very simple to play as. Kind of like Anby, very simple to play as. Design is good. I really like his personality. Like he just seems like a homie and a bro. Something I did not expect, but I love getting the exposition of him, like low key when you did chapter 4, when you meet the bike gang and you find out he used to be with them and they consider him as a brother and shit. That was very cool. I did not expect that, and nothing really happened to that, but it was just kind of like a backstory thing to know, like, yeah, Billy knows these guys and he used to hang out with them. And so I really like that aspect of that too. And for me, he is pretty high. I think he is above Nekomata for me. A and B are getting kind of full. We gotta do something. Maybe, perhaps. I'm not sure. I don't know if there's a rule against having too much. But we have Nicole. Nicole is who I was referring to when I said that maybe a D character. Now that I think about it, maybe not a D. I think she's C. It's not that I dislike her. It's actually personality wise and everything is fine. It's just that as playing as her, she's one of the characters where like I hate playing as her. I just don't fucking understand it because she has like a suitcase. You can sometimes shoot with it. She swings around. But every time I play as her, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Like, I know that you can obviously learn to play with her, but like, I just dislike playing as her. And so she's like either low C tier or D tier just for the gameplay alone. Personality wise, I actually like her personality. She's funny. She's like a boss. She has money. She has money troubles. Yeah, personality wise, she's fine. Design wise, she's normal too. She just looks like a fucking like 20-year-old. And so I think she's fine. Funnily enough, I saw on Twitter today that what her original design looked like. It looked nothing like how she does now. It looked very different. She's like this blonde character with like full black and stuff. Yeah, I think mostly it's her gameplay that really drags me down, where if there's ever an event or part of the story that forces me to use her, I'm like, God damn, I don't want to use her. I don't like her. Like, I don't like using her. But in terms of story, it's fine. I think it's very smart to introduce the story with her because her personality and stuff is really good. But yeah, I'm going to be putting her... Is she lower than Sokaku? It's kind of... Nah, she's higher. I don't dislike Sokaku. It's just that like, I'm not a fan of the design. I'm not a fan of the gameplay. So that's why we're Nicole. I think her design's good and I think her personality is good too. Where Sokaku is just a personality. Next we have Lucy. Funny thing with Lucy is I pulled her like early in the game. I think she might have been my first pull. And so because of that, I've known of her for a long time. And she was in my team until very recently, until I got to Soldier 11. So she's been on my team. And so like I've been playing as her. And now finally finishing chapter 4, I know who she is. I did not expect that type of personality. I thought I don't know. I don't really have an idea of what she would be. But she's kind of like this very smart character. She's kind of like the thinker of the biker gang. She's very headstrong, and yeah, it's really her character was very different than what I thought, but it was very welcome. It was pretty different from like what you would expect from how she looked. I remember when I got her, I wasn't a fan of the design. I'm like, I don't know what this kind of like pig theme biker gang is. Like, it just seemed like too. Whenever a design is too much on a theme, I'm not a huge fan. Like, I like the cunning hairs because of that, because there's no theme to it. If you look at Ambi, Billy, Nekomata now, but Nicole, like, there's no real theme to it. There's like a slight theme of like kind of street hip clothes, but there's not too much. Where with the biker gang, like everyone's very biker gang. Or at least when I saw her, I expected that. And so the design I'm not a huge fan of, but I do like her personality. And gameplay is like okay. She was on my team. I got used to her, but I don't love her gameplay. So I think I'd put her B tier around Anton and Rena. I think under Rena above Lycon is where I'd put Lucy. Next we have Piper. Piper was interesting. I believe Piper was a girl. Something that this game does is you'll get introduced to characters way before you actually learn of them in the story, like just in the city. So I used to see Lucy and Piper in New Erudu all the fucking time before we got to learn of them. And so it was kind of fun, like kind of talking to them. And I believe it was only those two. I don't think you ever saw Bernice or Caesar in the city. Piper's one of those weird characters where she looks like a kid. Like she looks like, I don't know, fucking know, like 15 or something. But I think she's like a senior. She talks like an old person. So at first I was like, maybe this is just like a joke that they're doing. But she literally says like, I'm near retirement and stuff. So like, I think she's probably like 50 or something, which is kind of weird. But as a character, she's fine. Nothing like exemplary, but she's just a fun like adult technically like character. And so yeah, nothing amazing, nothing bad. I would say she's probably like Ben tier. Probably a bit better than Ben. But yeah, I'd put her low B tier. Next we have Bernice. Bernice is so weird because I had expectations, not the right word. I saw so much of her on the internet with the fucking Bernice meme and dance video. I remember like when I saw clips of that, I'm like, what is this? Is this Zenless Zone Zero? Why would this be in the game? To this day, I don't know if that was an official video where like she's dancing and shit. And so when I was going through the arc, I'm like, are we gonna get that quote unquote music video in the game? And it's not in the game. I don't know where the fuck's that from. I don't know if ZZZ just released that on the internet or if it's fan made or what. But I got her and she seems perfectly fucking normal in the game. She's like this flamethrower character, which is very cool because no other character uses flamethrower. I think personality, she's fun. She's just like a nice like upbeat character. Her design from the biker gang, the Sons of Caldon, I was trying to remember the name. I think she's probably one of my favorites. Like she's better than Piper and Lucy in my opinion, where she doesn't look too biker gangish, which is nice. Honestly, she looks a lot like Ambi. I would say design wise she's good. Personality wise, I think I like her. Gameplay wise, I like her too. It's not like my type of style of gameplay that I like, but whenever I had to use her, I was fine with using her. It was pretty good. I would say she's probably high B tier, honestly, for me. I think she might be better than Anton. I don't know why. I don't know if it's like just because she's charismatic. She's just like there's nothing bad. Like she's a likable character. That's how they made her, and so she's just fun to have around. She's kind of a dumbass too, which is kind of like, I don't know, that's just part of her character. She's kind of like airhead. That's a better word. She's kind of an airhead, but in terms of likability, personality, gameplay wise, none of it is bad. They're all either pretty good to great, and so I'll put her high B tier above Anton for me. And I'm gonna be completely honest, a lot of this could be recency bias. Bellabug Industries, it's been a while. It's literally been like 3+ months since I've played as them or with them, and so I don't remember the details too much. Where something like Bernice and stuff, I literally finished the chapter yesterday, so I know the details a bit better, so I can judge them a bit more accurately. And so she's there. Caesar, which is the leader of the Sons of Caledon, I really like her design. Her design is like really fucking dope. Like as I play the game, I'll just see more details. Or like I noticed says king on her necklace, and then in one of the cutscenes, you notice her hero clip says king too. I'm like, that's pretty fucking cool. I like that she looks different from the rest of them, where everyone else looks like their sisters, like just like a blonde white girl, where she has like this greenish hair, which is kind of different, which is nice. And I really like her concept where, like, again, everyone else looks like a biker girl. She looks like she's like, I don't know what the word is. She looks like not a soldier. Like she looks like a knight. That's what it is. She has like a knight's shield, a knight's sword, and that's kind of her thing. I believe that's where her name is, Caesar too. And using her is pretty fun. She plays pretty good. She's like Bernice, where like I really like playing as her. She's not one of my top, but she's very enjoyable to play as. And she has this very cool move where she could like, I don't know how she does it. She throws her shield and it splits into 6 and like hits everyone around you. So it's really fun to use her in that aspect. But I really like her personality because she's a leader. She's kind of a dumbass, where like it's funny because in cutscenes like things will be happening and she'd whisper to Lucy and be like, "Hey Lucy, is this a good thing or a bad thing?" And Lucy would kind of explain it to her. And but my favorite part of that is that she's very self-aware. Like she does these things, but she picks up on everything. There's been multiple situations in the story where like everyone is trying to do something in secret without her knowing, but she'd come to like the event or whatever, and like clearly she knew what was going on. Or like they sent her to the city at one point in the story to kind of like clear her head, but they never like told her that's what she was doing. But like when you're actually in the city as her, she's like, "Yeah, my friend sent me here to clear my head." Like she's not stupid. She's an adult. She knows what's going on, which I kind of appreciate. Where I feel like a lot of times they'll make a character like her and they'll make her so airheaded where it's not realistic, where she clearly knows what's going on. She's just not the smartest of the bunch, which I really appreciate. So honestly, she's like very high tier for everything except gameplay, which is like maybe second to high tier. But she might be one of the first people who's A tier for me, not because of the gameplay. Like everyone else here, like gameplay helps them a lot. I guess not Belle and Wise because they don't have gameplay. But for me, it's her personality, character, and design and stuff, which really puts her on top. So I'm gonna put her an A tier above Nekomata. Oh, above Billy, maybe even above. Like I really like her personality and stuff. I might put her above Hoshimi. Damn. Yeah, and it's not because of the gameplay. It's just like, I just thought she was like a really good character. Like her writing too, especially what she does at the end of her arc. That was really fucking cool. The cutscene was dope. Your boy was kind of tearing up. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, now the last character from the biker gang is Lighter. Lighter's funny because it's very clear that he's gonna be a future character. Like he's literally with you the entire arc, but you never get to use him because he's not a released character, I guess, right now. And so he's just there with you. But I like his personality. He's fun. He's kind of like this stoic dude character, but he's kind of funny. And like there'll be some times where like his armor cracks a bit, where he's like talking in this deep voice, and then he'll just go like high pitched all of a sudden, where you kind of get a sense of his real personality. His design honestly is like whatever. It's just like it's pretty much like if you think of like generic handsome pretty boy biker, it'd be like him. Like there's nothing about him where I see when I see him I'm like, oh, this seems kind of original. Where Caesar, she just seems pretty original to me. Lighter doesn't seem that much. And I also like the names of the group. I didn't really mention that about Lighter because they're like a fire-based gang. His name is Lighter. We have Bernice and things like that. But yeah, the design not my favorite. He's not bad, but it's just kind of generic. Gameplay, I can't judge that because you literally cannot use him. He's honestly pretty B tier now that I think about it. Again, recency bias might be showing up. I kind of want to put him high, but like if I want to think about it objectively, he's not really that high. Like he's just kind of like middle of the road. Put him under Kaladen, above Shark Girl. Next we have, I do not remember the characters at all. I mean, sorry, I remember the characters. I do not remember their names at all. It's like this is gonna sound hella racist. I do not mean it. It's like it looks like a Chinese name, but like it was like Lu Shang or some shit like that. I'm sorry, that's racist. I do not mean it. But I like her character. Her personality is very good. Her design is dope. She's just like a normal cop, but like I mentioned, the two-tone hair looks good. I really like how they're introducing the story. Like it kind of felt like out of left field when she was introduced, and you got to use her right away too. Gameplay wise, I think she's kind of like Billy, where she was a gunfighter. I guess she's like very much like Bernice, where like I was cool with using her. I probably under Bernice, where like I didn't love using her, but she was pretty good. I think for her it'd be mostly design and character. I think design and character go really high because I'd really appreciate having a character that is kind of your friend. She doesn't really know who you actually are in terms of proxy, but she is a character that is very much on the side of the law. But what I really appreciate is there's a scene where like she has to choose between, kind of going on her own or trusting a proxy, which is kind of like illegal in her business, and she decides to trust us, and we kind of save her life because of that. So when that happened, I'm like, that's a character moment I really like about her, where she is very much on the side of law, but if she ever needs to skirt it, she will. She's not like annoyingly like, nope, I'm just like about justice and law and I will not listen to you. She kind of knows when to be flexible, so I kind of appreciate that. So she will be either high B or low A. I think she's like low A, above Nakamata. And now we have, I swear to God, her name was in my mind right now. She has a similar name to the other cop. You know what? Let me Google it. I feel bad. Let me Google their names. Hold up. Okay, so the other cop was Zhu Yuan, I remember. And this one is Chingy, I believe. And so Chingy is a fun character. She is also, a cop, part of the public sector, I believe they're called, and she's very fun. Where I don't know if she's an intelligence construct like Billy. Like, she's not human, she's like robotic. I don't know if she's the same type of device as Billy or not, but she looks very much human. I realized she was a robot before they revealed it, because she has like how they always show in video games or something, where she has lines like on her legs and arms to show like she's not fucking human. And personality wise, she's fun. I'm trying to remember the details because again, it's been a long time. I remember she had like a fun personality. Gameplay wise, she was pretty good too. I think I liked using her more than Zhu Yang. Yeah, I can't really remember too much about her. I think personality was most thing. Her design, I think it's good. Like, it's not my favorite or anything, but I want to say she is right under, I can't remember. I keep forgetting her name. Zhu Yuan. I don't know how to fucking pronounce that. Zhuyuan, Zhu Yuan, I think. So I'll put her right under Zhu Yuan. And yeah, okay, A and B tier, getting stacked. We have 2 characters left, almost done. I just know they don't have all the characters. I just know they don't have Haramoso, the guy from Section 6. That's weird. They don't have him in the tier list. But we have Seth. He is part of PubSec 2, and you kind of learn a lot about him, where he tries to fight the bad guys, where Jane Doe is. Has to kind of turn himself in, and he's kind of like a hostage for them, and you kind of learn about his character. I like his character. He's not a bad character. He's very much of like honor and stuff like that. He talks about honor a lot. That's pretty much his character, what you learn about it. His weapon is like a shield, I believe. It's like this shield. He's not my favorite to use. Again, I don't really like slow characters that much, and he's kind of slow. He's just kind of like hitting with the shield a lot and things like that. But character wise, I think he's fun, and design wise, I think design wise he looks cool. He is clearly a Thyran of sorts. I'm assuming some kind of cat or something like that. But I think this is kind of like a pattern with the guy characters. The guy characters, they don't go like that hard on. I think Anton's probably the most they went like pretty hard on, and I guess Billy too. But in terms of like him, like they just feel they're good designs, but they feel slightly generic. Like they could like go one step further to go as hard as like some of the other characters. And so design wise is good, personality is good, gameplay is like whatever. So I think he's gonna be B tier for me. Under Bernice, under Anton, under Rena, under Lucy, probably with Lycon somewhere there, maybe under Lycon, under Yanagi actually, no, actually, under Koledo. Actually, you know what, Lighter, he perfectly fits with Lighter now I think about it. I'll put him above Lighter. He did have more personality than Lighter, so he will be there. And one more character, Jane Doe. Jane Doe was a surprise for me because through Twitter, I've kind of seen all the characters. Like I saw Bernice, I saw like the biker gang people, I saw Victoria Housekeeping and shit like that. I saw Seth and Horomaso. I don't know what to say, Horomaso, whatever the fuck it is. I saw them like around, like that they were gonna be like future characters. Jane Doe I'd literally never seen, so when like she came up, I'm like, who the fuck is this? And then there's an entire special episode where you get to play as her. I was like, oh shit, this is cool. Man, did it surprise me, because when I saw her, I'm like, she's like some cow Thyran. Like I couldn't fucking tell what she was. I'm like, she seems like whatever. And learning what she is, how she's kind of like a spy, that you get to use her, you have to try to escape from her situation. But the thing that surprised me most was her gameplay. Her gameplay is fucking sick. Like, it's so fucking cool. She uses like these mini knives, but she fights so fast. She's pretty much teleporting. When she dodges, I don't know what the hell she's doing. She's like phasing out of space or some bullshit. She has 2 dodges, so she feels even faster. Like when I use her, I fucking like start levitating. Like it feels so good to use her. Like she's probably like one of the best to use, and so I was kind of disappointed where like she's not in any of the pulls from what I can tell. I don't know if she was a pullable character before. I'm assuming she was when I wasn't playing, but she's very fun to use. I after learned she's a rat tyrant. I didn't know because she didn't really look like a rat to me. She literally looks like a cow to me. She has cow ears and a cowish tail, but she's a rat tyrant, and maybe that's why she's fast. But as you play through the special episode, I do really get to enjoy or get to know and enjoy her character, where I thought she was kind of like a hard ass and asshole, but then she kind of is like, she is a kind of like, not an asshole, but she's very headstrong. She knows what she's doing. She's very smart, but then you sometimes learn her thoughts where she's in town and she's still like, you know, acting as like the bad guy in the gang, but she'll notice that there's like drunk people on the streets, and immediately her mind's like, okay, I gotta help those drunk people out and get home or some shit. Like she has like many thoughts like that where you can still tell that she is a very good and lawful person, which I appreciate. And so I really like her. Her design is really good too. Like it just looks like a really fucking good design. And so yeah, she's probably somewhere high up. She's A tier for sure. Above Nekomata, above the cop girls, above Billy. Yeah, you know what? I wanted Soldier 11 for the longest time. I think above Soldier 11. I think she's Hoshimi tier for me. Like her gameplay is really fucking good. Like Caesar's gameplay is less than like all these guys, but Caesar I just really like as a character. I'm gonna put her maybe above Hoshimi for now. So we have this as our tier list for now. Let's see if I want to fine tune anything. Let's see if anyone goes S tier. Let's see. Just to make it, just to like split it off, I think I'm gonna put some people in the S tier. I feel like the A and B are a bit too full. I'm gonna put Grace in S tier straight up. She's just like, to me, she just checks all the boxes. Like she's just really good. So I'm gonna put Grace up there. It's so hard for me to move Wise or Bella because again, they don't have gameplay. But like they're just like good main character. Like as a main character, I think they are very good main characters. Like it's just very rare for me to see an RPG where the main character is like very good, which is why the RPGs I like the Trails games, Kingdom Hearts and stuff, I think they are like one of the rare games where like they have really good main characters. So I think Bell and Wise are kind of there too. But Grace, I'm gonna put an S. Caesar will be A because her gameplay is not my favorite. Jane Doe will be here. I don't know if anyone else is S, honestly. Because no one checks all the boxes like Grace does for me. B tier, do I need to split any higher or lower? Bernice is good. I think these guys are fine B tier. You know what? Just to split it up, I might put some to C tier. I'm going to put Ben in C tier above these guys. Again, I don't dislike anything about him really. I mean, I guess I do. I don't really like his gameplay. I like his personality. Everything else is just like whatever for me. So I'll put him high C tier. Piper is like fine. Yeah, Piper's like low B. That's how I describe her. But I think I'm gonna keep it here. So just to sum it up, especially if you've been listening to this as an audio podcast, with S tier we only have Grace. With A tier we have Wise, then Belle, then Anby, then Caesar, then Jane Doe, then Hoshimi and Soldier 11, then Billy, then Zhu Yuan, then Shingi, I believe her name is, and then Nekomata. B tier we have Bernice, Anton, Rena, Lucy, Lycon, Yanagi, Kaleda, Seth, Lighter, Shark Girl, Corin, and Piper. C tier we have Ben, Nicole, and Sokako, and I'm sure some of those names are wrong. Like I don't even know if Sokako is actually her name. I'm just remembering as that, but I believe that is my full tier list for the ZZZ characters. And obviously, as I play the games, as I get to know them, they will change. Like for example, Lucy was probably like a whatever character for me, but like as I got to play as her, it actually brought her higher into B tier because I actually got to get to know her in her story and stuff like that. So maybe as I do the more of the story, as I learn more about Hoshimi and stuff like that, maybe they'll go higher too. But yeah, for now, this is my tier list for ZZZ. Okay, and I don't think I will be doing the ranking of the Wuwa characters in this episode. I was thinking of doing both because I did the ranking of the 100 Trails of Cold Steel characters, and I'm like, I did that. I can do these quick. This was not quick. I've been recording for nearly an hour now, and so I'm not sure how little short it will edit it down to. But yeah, I'm not going to be doing the Wuthering Waves characters in this episode. Maybe I'll do that in a future episode or in a few episodes or something like that. Maybe the next time I get very deep into Wuwa, because I have dropped that for a few days for ZZZ. And so yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode of Spill the Tearal. This was episode 40, and as I always say, if you're listening on audio sources, remember to give it 5 stars. It really helps with the algorithm of podcasts, however that works. If you're watching on YouTube, like it if you actually liked it. Comment if you have thoughts on anything that I did, maybe the ranking, maybe you disagree with a lot of stuff, maybe you agree with a lot of stuff, I'm not sure. If you play ZZZ, drop your friend code or whatever the hell, because I have no friends in the game. It'd be very appreciated. But yeah, hopefully I'll see you guys next week for episode 41. Peace.